If you guys are looking for some very good speakers for the low that sound great and they will translate your songs and your mixes very well, look no further than these. Trust me. Bolo! Before we get started, make sure you guys go ahead and get my drum kits. They are all dope and they are all cheap. So if you guys need some good quality drums for your productions, go ahead and click that link in the description and get my drum kits right now. Also, if you guys are in need of any equipment, make sure you guys go ahead and click that link in the description and head over to sounds.com. They have a whole bunch of stuff on the site that requires no credit or background check, meaning you can go ahead and order it and they'll ship it to you and you can just pay it off over time. Now, it's not all the stuff on the site, but it's a good amount of stuff on the site that you can get with no credit or background check. So if you need some stuff today, go ahead and click that link in the description and save and go to sounds.com right now. All right, last but not least, if you guys need to protect your gear, go ahead and visit the link in the description and head over to Analog Cases. They are the #1 place to go to get your gear protected. They have so many cases, so many different options for all of the gear, audio interfaces, beat machines, keyboards, MIDI controllers, everything you need, Analog Cases has it. So go ahead, click that link in the description, and if you do, you'll save some money on Analog Cases. So go ahead and click that link right now. Now, I really don't have to say too much about these speakers because a lot of you guys have them already, but for the ones who are considering getting some studio monitors and who do not want to break the bank, you already know I'm going to put you guys on some game. Of course, it is this right here. This is the JBL 8-inch MK2 3 series right here. For the price point, this is absolutely one of the best speakers on the market because a lot of people actually mix on these speakers right here. And there's a very interesting backstory about these speakers. So a few years ago, I was at the world famous Patchwork Studios here in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was getting my song mastered by multi-platinum, multi-Grammy mastering engineer, Kenny Mix. And while we was in the room, I noticed that he had the big prototypes of this speaker right here. And I was so intrigued by the speaker because of the little design right here on the tweeter. So while he was mastering the song, you know, he would take a few breaks and then we'll have some conversations, but the conversation will always lead back to those beautiful JBL speakers that he had inside of his room. And he explained to me at that time that JBL came in and they took measurements of his room and they actually came with this tweeter design right here from the diffusers that he had on his wall. So that's where this actual design came from. And he also gave me a little advice. And the advice was to go ahead and pick up these at the time, which was the first series of the 8-inch speakers, which I went ahead and did. I went ahead and got them. And the first thing when I did get them, I was like, dang, these things are kind of light. You know, I don't know if they're going to sound like the other speakers that I had, which were the Yamahas, you know, the ones that everybody else got. So of course I went ahead with his advice and I went and got these speakers. And man, I'm gonna tell you right now, do not let the weight fool you because these speakers have a bottom end that sound great, especially in small rooms. And the sound coming out of these speakers are incredible. And everything, basically what he told me about these speakers were true. He said that these speakers are budget speakers, but they sound better than a lot of the very expensive speakers. And then he said, if you go ahead and get the sub, get the whole system, it's going to sound even better. So I went and got the 10-inch sub that, you know, that fires down. We'll probably make another video about that. But I went and got the sub, and I'm telling you guys right now, you cannot beat the price of having 2 of these and the sub for less than like 900 bucks. And you will get fantastic sounding mixes and everything will play back very good inside of your studio. But I know if my mixers are sounding pretty decent on this, they're gonna sound pretty decent everywhere, for real, for real. So with me saying all that, let's go ahead and talk about a few specs. First things first, they have 2 speakers. They have a 8-inch driver and then they have a 1-inch tweeter inside here as well. The 8-inch driver pushes out 56 watts and the tweeter pushes out 56 watts as well, which gives you a combined total of 112 watts. The frequency response is 45 hertz all the way up to 20K kilohertz. And for all you SPL people, the maximum peak SPL is at 112 dBs, which is pretty good. Now, the one thing you're gonna notice about these speakers is that tweeter design, which I said was made from those diffusers that Kenny Mix had on the wall. The stereo imaging on here is crazy, okay? I've had a lot of speakers and the stereo imaging is cool, but with these things sound very good. Now, they do have a bass port on here. The bass port is in the back. And I'm telling you guys right now, the bass sounds incredible on these speakers, even without the sub being hooked up to it. Now, of course, these speakers come with an EQ setting on here, so you can go ahead and set the EQ however you like. I just keep mine pretty much like in the middle. I don't really change anything because they sound good. And this thing has a high frequency trim on here as well, so you guys can go ahead and, you know, cut back on the high frequencies if you want to. And it has XLR inputs and it has 1/4 inch inputs as well. And you can increase or decrease the dBs of the speaker depending on if you need to have more juice or not. And of course, the design of this speaker is just out of this world. This is one of the best looking speakers on the market, and it will bring a little life to your studio if your studio does look a little boring. You know, just my personal opinion. All right, so that's all the specs. But let's talk about one thing that you have to do with any speaker, and that is breaking speakers in. I left these speakers on for about 18 hours at a nice little moderate, you know, volume so I could break these speakers in, and over time I would turn them up a little more and more. And once these speakers get broken into, these things sound amazing. I'm gonna keep telling you guys how dope these speakers sound, because for the price point, they sound amazing. And then plus they're made by JBL. JBL has been making speakers before a lot of us have even been born. So you're dealing with a company that has been around for a long time, and they have invested so much in speakers, you know you're dealing with a quality brand. Also, these speakers do come with a manufacturer's warranty. So if you have any problems with like the warranty from wherever you bought them from, you can go ahead, contact JBL. It has to be within a certain time, but it does come with a warranty if anything happens with these speakers. So you'll be pretty much covered with these speakers, you know, if you do have an issue. But my personal take on these is this: if you do not want to spend a whole bunch of money on a set of speakers and you want to get something in your studio that sounds great and you can get really good mixes on, just go ahead and get these, okay? You're not going to find speakers that are 250 bucks that are going to sound as good as these and gives you the performance of speakers that are 2, 3, and 4 times expensive as these speakers. I still use these JBLs to this day, and I am confident when I'm doing my mixes that my mixes will translate well on these speakers. And the good thing about these is, even when I'm rocking out or I'm jamming out on these speakers, when I'm making beats, I don't have to worry about the speakers being too sensitive and you hearing clicks and pops and all this other type of stuff. You can use these speakers as all around speakers. You can make beats on them, you can crank them up, and you can mix on them as well. So if you're looking for some really good speakers, go ahead, click that link in the description, go to zounds.com, navigate to these speakers and get them today. And if you get them before August 31st, 2023, you get you a free microphone. So you can't beat that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned something from it. Like I always say, peace out.